Okay, so like I said, I'm doing beef tips and rice tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and video the way, my new way of doing basmati rice. And it involves, I'm going to rinse the rice, by the way, to start with. I'll rinse this rice till this runs clear. I'll keep straining it till it runs clear. And I'll pour it over it and over it 4 or 5 times. But first thing that I put that in there, I'm going to fill this with water, just pour it around, and then I'll pour it in here and put it, and do that till the liquid runs off of it completely clear. I want clean rice, and that's what I've been doing. It seems to be working. And then I'm going to put about a 1/4 stick of this butter in the Instant Pot and melt that down and kind of saute this rice a little bit. And then 1-to-1 ratio water to rice. That's 2 cups of rice. I'll put 2 cups of water. And I'll use a rice feature on the Instant Pot. And I'll try and bring that in a minute and show you how it looks when it's done. It's working really, really well. Everybody's got a different way of doing rice in the Instant Pot. And I think this, for me, this is working as good as any I've ever tried. So I thought I'd video it right quick, and I'll put it up with this video or by itself. But anyhow, I'll be right back. Okay, so just for clarity, here's what I mean. I put water in here, and I just, with my hand, I just rush it over itself a couple, 2 or 3 times. And as you can see, that's the first time. And that is not clear water. And by the way, I didn't mention it. That's unsalted butter I'm using. So now I think that seems to have made a difference. So now I'm going to pour this into here over my sink and then do that all over again. And I'm going to continue to do that till that water's clear. So be back. Okay, so there it is after about 5 or 6 rinses. And like I said, once I get it in here over the sink, I run cold water. I swish my hand around. I don't know why I'm explaining that. You just get it clean, but you can see how much better it is. Now we're going to get this, a 1/4 stick of this unsalted butter into the Instant Pot, get that melted, and then we're going to add this. I'm fixing to put it back in here and let that drain, and going to get all the water off of it I can, and we're going to dump it in there and kind of saute this just a little bit. It's really not even about sauteing. I shouldn't use that word. I'm just kind of getting that rice warm in that butter. So that's my method at this time. So y'all hold up. I'll get to that point and I'll show you where I'm at. Okay, so that butter is melted, and that's all I want, because now I'm going to add my 2 cups of rice that have drained, and I'm just going to mix that up and let that butter more or less get on that rice. And that, like I said, seems to work. And all I'm going to do is leave this on for just a few minutes, because I'm not trying to cook it. I'm just waiting on it to kind of get warm and to kind of absorb some of that butter into that rice. That's my impression of what's happening. But it seems to work. You'll start to smell it a little bit, but I'm not trying to, get it that hot. So anyhow, and just letting you know, this is what I do now. And if you like the way the rice looks at the end of, in this beef tips, this is how I did it. So anyhow, y'all hold up, be right back. Okay, so I looked back on my last video and my microphone messed up. I don't know why, it just does sometimes. And you couldn't hear anything I said. So all I did was after I added that rice to that melted butter, didn't wait on the hot light now, I just waited till the butter was melted, and then I dropped my rice in, and I had stirred it up as you saw. After 5 minutes, you could kind of smell it. And like I said, I'm not trying to brown the rice. I'm just trying to get it warm to absorb the butter. So after 5 minutes, standing here stirring the whole time, I didn't leave it. I poured my 2 cups of water on. And now all I got to do is put the lid on. And just put the lid on, put it to seal, and press the rice feature. And it'll do the rest of it itself, and in 10 minutes that rice will be ready. We'll do a quick release on it and see how it looks. So y'all hold up. Okay, so the rice just got completed. We're gonna do a quick release. And as soon as that's over, we'll open it up and see how it looks. All right, there went the pan. So let's see what the rice looks like. Keep from steaming the camera up. Uh-oh, I better put this in the sink or I'll mess up. we'll see how this looks. And if normal, it'll look perfect. And as you can see, it does. So I'm going to get the lid back on that because I'm nowhere near ready with my beef tips. But that right there is the best method I've found for cooking rice. In fact, we'll set that out right here and let it cool just a minute, and I'll show you a little bit more in just a second. But I'm gonna get the lid back on it because I don't want it evaporating a lot of that moisture off, because I'm not ready for it. I'm not in a hurry, so whoops. Be right back. Okay, so here is what I mean by this rice being perfect every time. And I wish I could remember the subscribers or the person's name that gave me this tip. It was a long time ago, and I might can find it, but anyhow, I really have appreciated it. I mean, the rice, to me, you can see it's not stuck together, it's loose, it's cooked perfect, and I don't know how you beat it. It's very good, and you can do a lot of different things. You could use broths and stuff, but I find that butter gives it a great flavor, and just water is perfect rice. Especially for something like beef tips and rice, you don't really want another flavor, you know. You can, I've done it before, but I think that right there works as good as anything you'll get. So anyhow, now you know, that's the way I do rice now. Okay, so on that beautiful rice that I love now, and that's all I cook, I look back on the post I did on the rice before, and it was Alexandria Kurjanek. She mentioned the butter method, the sauteing in butter, and Sue Hull, she also mentioned it, and then Bob Johnson mentioned doing it the same method using olive oil, and which I'm sure would work. And there may be many more, but I certainly wanted to shout y'all out because you've changed the way I cook rice, and I appreciate it. Hey, I read the comments. I think you've changed several people, and that's what this group does. You know, that's what happens when you get comments with people that have done it and have gotten it right and have good ideas. And hey, I appreciate it. But anyhow, just wanted to shout y'all out. Thanks a bunch. But back to the beef tips. Bye, y'all.